Named one of the top 100 small towns in the entire country and rated A+ by niche.com, living in Petoskey will make you feel like you're living in a perfect lakefront community. While it's the land of million-dollar sunsets, as somebody that has helped hundreds of families move in and out of Petoskey and has lived here their entire life, there may be a few things you regret about moving to Petoskey. So I wanted to walk you through the real pros and cons about living here in Petoskey. What locals like me both love and hate about living in Petoskey. And hey, I may even save you from making a bad decision. This is local advice that you won't find on other websites or blogs, so let's get started. One of the major cons about living in Petoskey is just how expensive it is to live here. In fact, the median cost in 2024 was $421,000, while the average cost was over $700,000. The basic 3-bed, 2-bath home that was $250,000 about 5 years ago has almost doubled in 2024. And if you want a waterfront property, those are going for $2.5 million and oftentimes even more. I just ran some numbers. It would take somebody an annual income of $82,000 to be able to afford the median home price in Petoskey, but that's almost $20,000 over the local average, which is creating a major problem. The people who work in Petoskey can't actually afford to live in Petoskey. While you may think that's good news for a real estate agent, I'm here to tell you that's actually a really bad situation. And unfortunately, as long as people from around the country continue to see value in Petoskey, we anticipate these prices staying as high as they are. But now let's get into exactly why people are willing to pay such high prices to live here. First and foremost, it's really the location and outdoors. Being situated on Little Traverse Bay gives Petoskey residents the sunrise to sunset views. And in the wintertime, Petoskey is located about halfway between Boyle Islands, Nubbs Knob, and further south, Boyne Mountain. Also, we have the Little Traverse Wheelway, which spans from Harbor Springs to Charlevoix, which is about 40 miles each way. So if you're a cyclist or just like a peaceful place to walk, you're gonna love the Little Traverse Wheelway. Another one of the cons of living in Petoskey is just how busy it's getting in the summertime. Of course, this is always going to be a very touristy area, and with many more people calling this place home, it is really causing some congestion on the roads. In fact, in the summer, your 10-minute drive could easily turn into 30 minutes or more. And if you want a reservation at one of our great restaurants, you're gonna have to book that weeks in advance for some of the prime weekends. And who can forget the vigilant downtown parking authorities? If you leave your meter unpaid, you can expect a $5 to $20 ticket. However, I believe these are just some of the stresses that you have to put up with if you want to live in such a beautiful area. In fact, one of the major pros of living in Petoskey is getting to experience all 4 seasons. I recently just helped somebody move here from Texas, and that was one of the things they were looking forward to the most. They said in Texas, it really is just different versions of hot versus Michigan, where we have 4 distinct seasons, which make it like living in a completely different place 4 times per year. One of the great things about Petoskey is just how much there is to do here in the summer, which is why it attracts people from all over, both as visitors and potential residents. Whether you want to go fishing on one of the Great Lakes or even hire a charter fishing service to take you out of the water and show you where to catch the fish, or ride your bike or jog on the Little Traverse Wheelway that I mentioned a minute ago. Also, there's Petoskey State Park with hundreds of feet of the most sugar sand beach you will ever see in the most calm swimming waters. Also, we have a growing wine scene here in Petoskey. It seems like every year a new winery opens up, and they are a lot of fun to go to all year round. Now, everybody knows just how great summer is here in northern Michigan, but what about winter? I can't tell you how many people have relocated here and had a complete reality check once the temperatures dropped. Our winter typically lasts between November and April, which is a big portion of the year. During that time, you're going to see temperatures drop to below freezing. In fact, I think the holidays are one of the most special times in northern Michigan. The entire month of December is filled with get-togethers and catching up with friends that you may not have had the opportunity with how busy the summer season is. But once the holidays end, what I call the dog days of winter set in. That stretch from January to March can be brutal. And my advice to anybody thinking about relocating to northern Michigan is make sure you have a way to pass the time. Whether it's skiing or just cuddling up by the fire and reading a good book, you definitely need to put some thought and planning into making those late winter months as enjoyable as possible. Also, you need to make sure your home and car are ready as well. Having good snow tires for your car and making sure your house has great insulation will definitely make the winter a lot easier than otherwise. Let's face it, one of the big draws to Petoskey is the small town charm. If you enter town from East Mitchell, you're gonna see the big, beautiful Victorian homes and the historic buildings in the downtown Gaslight District. And one thing that I think is really neat about Petoskey is we have the boutique restaurants such as Chandler's, Pour, or Pallet Bistro, and we even have the bigger name chains like Applebee's and Buffalo Wild Wings. So whatever your palate is, there is something for everyone here. Some people who have moved here have told me that daily life in Petoskey can be challenging. We do lack some of the modern conveniences that a big city may offer. For instance, there's no Uber, Lyft, or any other ride-sharing platform here. There is a small local taxi company, but it's definitely not as convenient as the Uber and the Lyfts that you're used to. Also, outside of the great boutique shopping, there's not a lot of places to buy clothes in Petoskey. It's either the boutiques downtown or Marshall's just outside of town. Also, a lot of people moving here ask me, where am I going to buy furniture? And I'll be honest, since Art Van left a couple of years ago, buying furniture here in Petoskey has become a little trickier. Of course, we have Quiet Moose, which is a very high-end furniture store just across the street from my office. But if you're looking for something a little bit more affordable, you may have to travel to Traverse City or some larger area to find places to buy furniture. Another one of the pros of living in Petoskey is the quality of life. Did you know that we have a great hospital in McLaren, Northern Michigan, right here in Petoskey, which is one of the reasons so many people are deciding to retire right here in Petoskey. Also, if schools are important to you, Petoskey has some of the smallest class sizes that you're going to find, ranging from 12 students to 30 students, and each class makes it much smaller than if you lived in a much bigger city. Also, if you look at niche.com and search by schools, you're going to see that schools in this area are highly rated, which if you're like me, is the most important thing I would consider when relocating to a new area. Also, not having some of the amenities that bigger cities have does come with one small benefit, or maybe it's a big benefit to you. That is clean air and beautiful clear skies that you can see the stars at night. There is almost no light pollution here, which gives you some of the best stargazing and even the occasional northern lights that you will ever see. Now let's talk about some more of the realities of Petoskey. First and foremost, the limited housing inventory. This is something we talk about a lot and a problem that doesn't seem to be going away. In fact, I just checked, and as of the recording of this video, there were only 33 houses for sale in Petoskey. And Petoskey is a huge area to only have that few of listings. Also, we get a lot of people that come here and want to build homes. And I have to break their heart and tell them that we mostly only have custom home builders. We don't really have a Pulte or a Toll Brothers who build big subdivisions. And that is something I personally wish we would see more of in Petoskey. And a lot of people come here to live downtown. And one of the cons of living downtown is the parking. There's just not a lot of on-street parking, which I've heard from a couple of people who have helped move downtown becomes quite an issue when you have family and friends over. Now let's talk about the future of Petoskey. I am often asked as a local expert what direction I see Petoskey going. And I'll be honest, I don't know yet. It does seem like there is a lot more development than we've seen in recent years. In fact, there are 2 luxury condo developments being built directly across the street from each other. While I don't know that we need more $2 or $3 million condos, I wish we could see mass scale houses being built to help supply the workforce and give some more affordable options to people looking to move here. And I do think this conversation is tough because while we do need more homes to meet the demand of people wanting to move to Petoskey, can the infrastructure here handle it? If you look at some place like Traverse City, who has exploded in the last 5 to 10 years, their roads are as busy as you'll ever see a road. I get a lot of people who have called me because they have started their search in Traverse City because they wanted a northern Michigan town and have decided that it is just too busy for them. With Petoskey's roads being built along the water, it's not like they can really expand over time. And there have been some creative developments to build some roads to help you get through and around Petoskey, but I don't see any of those happening in the near future. With all that being said, I think the battle between where Petoskey was and where it's going is going to be something we continue to talk about on my channel for a long time. So in conclusion, there's a reason Petoskey is called the Hamptons of the Midwest. It is becoming a very high-end lakefront community with a ton of natural beauty and small town amenities. If you're considering moving to Petoskey, whether you want to move in 3 months or 3 years, and you have any questions about what it's really like to live here, please reach out to me directly at 231-487-6141. I have helped hundreds of people with their real estate needs in Northern Michigan. And if you're a seller watching this and you're curious what your home is worth in today's market, reach out to me directly and I will give you a no obligation CMA. Also, if Petoskey isn't quite right for you, we service all of Northern Michigan, and I would love to help you figure out which town would suit you best. If after watching this video, you want to see more of what it's like to live in Petoskey, click on this video where I did an actual walking tour of Petoskey that will give you a much better idea of what it's actually like to live here. So just click next to watch.